Before the break, I asked you to name 8 or 9 players that you think could go from United. Let me ask. I don't know if you've done your list, but let me ask you what. This might be an easy way of doing it. What 8 or 9 players do you think that Amorim will get rid of? So the players that are left will fit in with his style of play.
Yeah, that's how I've based it off. I think some of the names here are quite big ones. So I'd say De Ligt is one, Anthony, Rashford, Casemiro, Shaw because of the injuries. Malacia because of the injuries. Harry Maguire, Eriksen, Evans.
Okay,
that's a 9.
There's a lot there you can't argue with.
And
De
then
Ligt, you're not a fan of De Ligt?
I just don't think he's got the pace that they want for that up and down.
The high press, yeah.
Yeah, and I just think he's a very good player, but there's a reason that everyone keeps moving on from him.
He does look slow. I like the look of him, but you're right, he does look slow. Richard's a Man United fan. Hi, Richard.
Hiya, how you doing? You all right?
I'm good, very well. How are you?
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, guys. Great show as always.
Thanks, man. What would you like to say, Rich?
Reference Marcus Rashford. We're on about selling him. We let Scott McTominay go, and Troy, you turned around and said that he needs to apply himself. I get that. I understand what you're saying, but doesn't the team and the managers need to help and assist for him to apply himself? Would you not agree with that?
Yeah, I would. I totally do agree with that. I think there's an element of that, and then there's an element of self-taught as well. He's 27 now. And I think Man United have put up with a lot of the behaviours because of where they found themselves. Does that make sense? And I feel like Ten Hag gave him a load of rope when he probably shouldn't have. But yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's more about the ethos of the club, isn't it, and the working environment of that club.
Yeah, definitely. And like you say, you know, he needs to apply himself as much as the team needs to help and support him. But going out and giving him a lucrative contract of £300,000 or whatever it is, when he's in the position he's in, and he's not playing to the 100% that he should be, we as a club create that problem.
I totally agree.
Yeah, let's stay with this subject. David's a Man City fan. I wonder what he'll say. Hi, Dave. How are you?
You okay, guys?
Yeah, hello, mate. How are you?
Yeah, it's a funny one with Rashford. I mean, I've seen him a couple of times around Manchester, and he seems to look like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders to me. His head's always down. He just looks like he's got the whole world on his shoulders. But like, when I look at United's team and I look at Garnacho and Højlund and Anthony, I still think he's the one who, me as a City fan, coming up against him, I'm more scared of him than any of the others. I know he's had a lot of poor games for United and he doesn't, you know, he's had a lot of games where he's just not in the game, becoming non-existent, or he can just look a bit lapsadaisy in the game. But I still think out of all the strikers at United on his day...
Dave, can I ask, do you think that's because it's Man City and he's a Manchester boy? Like, for argument's sake, if you supported Wolves, would you feel the same?
What do you mean? Like, in it?
Well, because are you suggesting he raises his game just for the Manchester derby?
No, because I've seen him in other... I mean, Manchester derbies, he does... I've seen him in some derbies. He scored a rocket. I think it was last year. He does do it in Derby Day. I've got to say the lad does. But I've seen him in other games putting, like, good performances for United. And I think there is a player in him when I watch him, but there's something lacking somewhere. I think he's probably been mismanaged a lot by other managers. I mean, there's been a lot of different managers come and go.
Yeah, David, sorry, can I just interrupt? Can I just interrupt you there? I want to ask you a question because I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Everyone still is looking at this potential because every now and again he does it. But at 27, if you was talking about Phil Foden, let's take Marcus out. If you talk about Phil Foden and he'd had the same level of success as Marcus, where he's had a few games where he's really good, would you be saying to City, stick with him, or would you be saying move on if Phil at 27 was doing it 2 or 3 times a year?
Probably, yeah. I'd probably say it's time for him. I think Rashford needs to move for the good of his own career. I think he's in a rut at United where I just think he's better if they part ways. I think he almost needs some kind of a controversial move, mate. If he went to like an Arsenal, a big ride, because then it's like there'd be a bit of there's a bit of needle there. Then it's a bit, well, I've got to prove them wrong at United. I think he almost needs that, like a controversial move. Like back in the day when you used to get like, I'm not saying, but like when Campbell went to Tottenham or when Figo went to cross from Madrid to Barcelona and that, I think he kind of needs that kind of move to maybe, sort of kickstart his career. But I was chatting to Kevin Orlock, who used to play for City, a few months ago, and we're on about Kevin Keegan, and he was saying to me, he said he was absolutely useless as a manager. Like, tactically, there didn't work on any tactics. I said, what did he have you doing in training? He said, we just play five-a-side all the time in training. He said, but one thing he was good at, Keegan, he said he made me go on the pitch and feel like I was De Rossi for Roma. He made me feel like I was the best player in my position. He never worried about the opposition. And I'm not, obviously, he can't. Management now, football's obviously, it's evolved. I get that, but I almost feel like he needs like some kind of a Kevin Keegan to put his arm out and say, look, you are, the best striker you've got. You're one of the best in the field. I think he almost needs that, but I think he needs a controversial move to maybe kickstart his
Dave,
career.
listen, I hear what you're saying. I appreciate you. Cool. Maybe sometimes that does happen, right? Sometimes it's just not working at a club. New start, new beginning.
Yeah, but I think that's too easy. I think I always find that when you with anything like. Sorry to go a little bit left, but I've quit drinking, right? You have to hit a bottom. You have to bottom out to go, right, no more for me. I don't think him moving to another big club is him bottoming out. I really don't.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
No, that's interesting you say that.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.